What's good, YouTube land? So, this, while being a nice sort of handheld, you know, personal weapon in the fight against kaijus, doesn't really work well for a proper Ultraman as a weapon. So, any good modern Ultraman has to have their own weapon, and this one certainly is one of them. But first, we have to summon it. And here it is! The DX Ultraman Trigger Circle Arms. You have the right to bear circle arms. I doubt you'll read that in the Constitution. So, there's a picture of Ultraman Trigger. There's pictures showing the alternate modes. The main sword mode right there. Trigger's three main forms before Glitter Eternity, because Glitter Eternity does not use this. Very nice small box. I appreciate that, Sad Pac-Man. And inside, I keep ripping it. Yeah, take that, Bandai logo. That's what I think of you. But that's just bad comedy. Inside, you get the sword. So, take it out of the plastic and pull the pin. Yes, we heard that already. So, what do I say about this? I love the translucent purple blade. First off, that is a very nice thing. And the sort of marble white and gold looks really cool. Looks-wise, I like it. It's got its own version of a handguard, being a full circle, given the name. But why is it hollow? Blah. A diamond upside down is a... I'm not going to go there. That does kind of bug me. Yeah, I don't have an answer to why it's... Well, it could look good in... I think it could look good in all three modes without being hollow and looking like a pussy. Other things? A nice compartment under the gem for all of these, along with a nice little gem right there. I believe that's Trigger's color timer. The pale red is a choice. Not necessarily the color I would have gone with, but I don't know. They went with it. Like, the gold looks really nice. Yeah. It does look like that. Oh wait, I know why, because that does fire a laser beam in the show. My main problem with this is the idea of the circular handguard itself. Because look where you're gonna put your hand. Constantly on the trigger. You know, pull the trigger and all that. But like, I have to keep my hand, at least my top finger, out here, just so I don't constantly... And like, to pull the trigger, it doesn't feel comfortable, because I end up pulling my finger all the way out like this. Because you can do it just with the sort of meaty part of your finger, but like, even that feels weird to do like that. So like, yeah, and you end up sliding your finger up against the handguard, And in my opinion, that's not a good handguard. But I'm not a swordsmith. I'm not a sword expert. I'm just a casual noob in his living room who enjoys swords and loves to learn about them. But anyway, you've already been hearing the sounds. And those are just the sounds in sword mode, because it has 3 different modes for his 3 forms. So we're just going to pop that out, and we're going to go into all the sounds just in the sword mode first. So take a hyper key and plug it right here. There are no lights on this, which, given the size of it, I'm not surprised, but lights would have been nice. And I don't like... That's another reason I don't like the handguard, is to constantly activate that. So, to remove or eject, you press that gray button right there, and they slide out with a deactivation sound. Even though he's never going to do this in the show, I'm going to go through every single hyper key I own in each of the 3 modes. So we got power. And the speaker is right there. I don't think the actual finishing attack sound is different depending on which key you insert. So. Also, I didn't show it off, but you can totally put Glitter Eternity on this if you want to. Didn't do that. I didn't think to do that in its video, but if you're watching these in order of release, thank you very much. But you can do that. So, actually, let's do Glitter Eternity now that I have it. Nope. Organizing my keys over here. And the 55th anniversary. Ultraman. And next up is original. Who knows? Maybe he will use Glitter Trigger in this at some point in the future. Zestia. And also, the battery compartment is right there. It looks like, it takes 3 LR44s. Since I have it, let's cover something I forgot to in this thing's review. Hold on. There you go. You get more sound effects from Zed. And if you're unfamiliar for those sounds, Zed in his show not only could speak Japanese, but he tended to give himself or each of his forms a different voice for when he wasn't actually talking. He was just sort of making noises like while fighting. So each form had its own unique voice. And that's where some of those the watcha and those things come from. Which you tend to do. I mean, as a martial artist, you tend to make sound effects while you're like the idea of us and all that because it makes you put more emphasis. At least that's the idea. So we have two more forms. So to transform it, you press that button and let go, and it's transformed into a claw, but not Dr. Claw. So this is a weapon, I guess. It still has the blades. He technically uses it as a blade. Well, but he uses it more as a blunt object because he friggin' like instead of like nicely slicing through, he just kind of hits them with it and they die. And those are the sounds you get from this mode. Let's start with power. This is going to take a long time. You know what? I'm not going to do the other forms. We're just going to strip. It's going to go straight into the third mode. Press the button again and hold it. And it's a bow now. And admittedly, it does look like a fairly decent bow. I can definitely see like a bowstring, although this does get in the way, so it wouldn't be the most effective bow if it was, not based around energy. Like, kind of like, think about it like a bowcaster, I guess. If it was a realistic bow, like a bow and arrow, the string would bend around and probably not allow you to actually fire an arrow. But like it fires energy arrows. He does the thing to mimic, and the energy string can just go around, like come to a point, like a triangle. I get it. So he would do his hand motion to fire a beam out of there, but he also uses it as a blade. He also, because you have both blades now available to you, as opposed to sword mode, which you really only use one side of the blade for a sword technique. You don't really switch around to the back side. Like you tend to. So with this, you effectively have a Darth Maul double-bladed sword that shoots arrows made out of energy. That's pretty awesome. And that's that. So, wrap up this. if you're collecting Ultraman Trigger toys, I would say it's in the words of a certain cyborg, a nice addition to your collection. Because I gotta go with all the Star Wars references. But like, I almost wanted to skip this. But I do think there is enough functionality between the sword mode, the claw mode, and the arrow mode. And reading every single one of these, I do think it gives you enough sound effects to make it worthwhile. Obviously, the bow is my favorite mode because of the Darth Maul reference, the double-bladed. You know, it definitely looks the best, in my opinion. Like, even though I've already mentioned the highly inefficient bow design for a realistic bow and arrow, I still like this mode the most. Hold up, what? Excuse me. Does it? It doesn't? Oh. I thought it had a... Hold on. See, it does! It's supposed to say glitter! There we go. And the thing that... Okay. Final thing. The thing I think Ultraman does better than, say, Kamen Rider Super Sentai is the fact that they actually use props this size for their human characters. Because they know that the human character isn't actually fighting with it, the giant building-sized Ultraman is also fighting with a prop that's this size, just through the amazing visual tricks make it look larger than life. So it makes me appreciate the toys more and be more willing to buy them, even though I tend to end up with quite a lot of Kamen Rider weapons now that I think about it. It's probably because my parents didn't let me have toy weapons as a kid. That makes me want them even more. All I had were those crappy dollar store knockoff ninja swords growing up. They're not allowed anywhere near a toy gun. I think I might have had a water gun at some point, but no. All I remember was the dollar store ninja swords. So, I do recommend this toy. Will I recommend the glitter blade? I don't know because I don't have it yet, but this, yeah. If you're collecting Trigger toys, I definitely would say don't skip out on it. You might be tempted to skip out on it, but as I previously mentioned, I think it has enough sound effects to make it worthwhile. Between the mode changing and the interaction with the hyper keys, there is definitely a good amount of sound effects in this thing. And the more keys you have, the better, because it'll give this thing more sound effects, making it more worth your money. Which I might not be able to say about the Glitter Blade, but we'll find out when we find out. So, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. Well, I'm trying to think of a snappy closer. I don't have one, so stay sexy. And keep it weird. Those two things shouldn't go together, but they often do. Bye.